This little piggy's going to market. Hi everyone, my name is Diane and this is my Pink Bathtub Knits. Welcome back. It's nice to see you all again. If you are new, welcome. If you are returning, it's really good to see you guys again. Today we are talking about pigs and taking pigs to market. I'm going to show you some of my patterns of some of the stuff I've been making for my markets. It's coming rather quickly, so I have been pre-recording a lot of episodes and dropping them. And I apologize if I mention things that are actually coming up because I don't know what order I'm doing this in. I'm trying to have a nice work-life balance here. But I just got to get through these markets at this point. They're coming quickly. And as a maker, it is a lot of work to do markets because you will see that because I will be bringing you along on some of my market adventures. So pigs, why did I get into knitting pigs? Well, they just kind of fell in naturally after I started getting into chickens. I kind of felt I wanted this whole barnyard menagerie around me. And I think they're a lot of fun to knit. Now today there is going to be a pattern giveaway again of one of my patterns. And at the very end of this episode, I am going to show you a tutorial of how you can knit a piece of bacon. I know it's random, but bacon comes from pigs, and this is a fun little thing to use as a bacon bookmark. So if you have any bacon lovers in your family, I mean, I am Canadian, so it's all about the Canadian bacon. I was inspired to knit this from a pattern that I saw where it was a bacon scarf. So it was essentially the same pattern, but this is obviously in much smaller form. Now this is knit with 3-weight yarn. I believe I used the Red Heart Love. I'm going to show you all that at the end of this video, and we're just going to knit it together. Some of it's going to be sped up because we're not going to do it in real time, but I am going to provide you the pattern on how you can make this on your own at the end of this video. I'm also going to cut this video to have that little tutorial as a separate tutorial in my Learn to Knit playlist. So if you don't want to learn how to knit this, once I'm done talking, you can just stop, or if you're kind of interested and curious on how to make this, it would be a great stocking stuffer that you can roll up in someone's stocking. If you know of any readers, if you know of anyone who loves bacon, I mean, it's fun, and it is pig themed. So let's get on with our pigs. I don't feel I have as many pig options as some of my other animals, but I still have some. So here is a pig that I designed myself, and this is the pattern that I'm going to be doing a giveaway. It is a knit pattern. I do have it in my Ravelry store, and I am going to show you the link below in the description field, and it is called This Little Piggy. Now the thing I love about knitting hand knit toys is, okay, I'm a bit of a lazy knitter. I'm not into gauge. You can make it in any size needle and any size yarn you want, and you're not fitting anybody. The only suggestion I have when you make toys is to always knit down in needle size for what the recommended needle size is on the ball band of the yarn. You want that knit to be a little tighter for when you stuff the stuffing in it, it's not going to be sticking out. So this was knit on a 4.0 millimeter double pointed needle. You start at the bum, you work your way up, and you stuff as you go. And this particular one, I knit with 2 strands held together just to make it extra thick. See, you can't see any stuffing or anything coming out of that. This is an I-cord tail, which is a very easy thing to do. Then you just knit the little feet, stuff them, place them, a button eyes and button nostrils, 4.0 millimeter needle, 4-weight yarn. I did it 2 strands held together. Now, if you want to make this in a different size, this is the exact same pattern. This is the exact same pattern. This one, my friends, is knit with a 6-weight yarn. And I used an entire ball, like I was playing yarn chicken with this, an entire ball of this Bernat Softy Chunky, which is an acrylic yarn. It's a 6-weight yarn. How much is in here? 108 yards. Now I tend to have very long tails when I do my work, because you're attaching the feet and stuff, so you could be a little mindful of the length of your tails, because I tend to do really long tails, and then I have a little bit of wastage there. But this is the exact same pattern, and the needle size I did this in was a 6 millimeter needle. Now the recommended needle size on this ball band is 8 millimeter, so I did go down in size. So the fun about it is you can make it in any size you want. It's not fitting anybody. Like, this is the exact same pattern. Here's another example. I just did a kind of a brown, gray black one. This, I believe it's called newsprint, like a Super Saver yarn. Not all pigs are pink. So I just thought he was kind of a fun addition. So if you want to win this pattern, here's what you need to do. You need to like this video. I want you to say something with the word piggy in the comment. You need to leave a comment, and I would love, well, I wouldn't love, you need to be a public subscriber. When I do the draw, I am going to be checking that you are a public subscriber. Now, I know a lot of people like to keep their channel subscriptions private, but for me and my giveaways, and I know this is very common, you need to be public. I need to see that you are subscribed to my channel. So those are the 3 things. Like it, put a comment with the word piggy in it, and be a public subscriber. And I will draw this 1 week from today. Now, I'm not sure what day I'm going to be posting this. I'm going to put the draw date here. It's going to be 1 week from the day of my video. I've been dropping videos on Wednesday, and I will come on and do 1 separate video just of about the draw, and I will not be commenting that you have won in this video. Then you can email mypinkbathtub@gmail.com, and I will send you the PDF. I'm going to ask you to put a secret word in your original comment. I did that with my first pattern thing, just to ensure that you are who you are, and then I'll email you the PDF. So good luck with that. So that is one piggy thing that I make. Here's another thing. I haven't made a lot of them, but here is a little piggy hat. Now, I don't have a pattern written up for that. I don't know if I'm going to make more of them. I've actually only made 1. I'm really into making chicken hats, but this is kind of what it looks like. And it's kind of a toddler size. This is a double brim hat. So it's basically knit longer, and then it's folded up to make the ears a little bit warmer. Now, I don't think I'll fit this. This is more of a toddler size. It's a little tight. I'm going to get a headache, but super cute. And of course, I'm a mitten maker. These are some other pig products that I have. This is the same pattern that I always go to, the Bella's vampire pattern from Twilight. I just love the cable. And it is a free pattern. I'll put the link below. Now, when I make this pattern, I start on row 24. I use a chunky yarn, so a 5-weight yarn. And I either use 5.0 millimeter needles or 5.5 millimeter needles, depending on how thick it is, because Unfortunately, not all yarn is the same. Not all thicknesses are identical. So this one is made with Color Made Easy yarn, of course, queen of discontinued yarn. And this is a little bit of a thicker 5.0 or 5.0. 5 weight, bulky weight yarn. So I use a 5.0 millimeter needle when making this. And I think I will eventually do a tutorial on my pig mittens, but today is the bacon bookmark tutorial. Let me know if this is something you'd like, and I can do one in the future for sure. Now it's just really the snout and the ears and the placement of the eyes, and you've got yourself a piggy mitten. I also make them in child size and youth size. And again, if you're new to my channel, I use the Tin Knits World's Simplest Mitten pattern. I'm gonna leave that below. And this is, because it's a plain mitten, this is what it looks like. Now the youth size I do fits up to like a, 10, 12-year-old, or even a small lady's hand has gotten in here. I have piano fingers, so. And then, super cutie is these little toddler mittens, which is the same pattern, just a different size mitten. And it is up to an age 4. And I include mitten clips with it because we don't want our mittens lost by our little ones. So it's just an added bonus on for family to purchase for their children. I feel like that is about it when it comes to my piggy enterprise. Here's the bacon bookmark. If you are interested, please stay and watch the tutorial. Again, I am going to be splicing this and putting just the tutorial for this in a separate video in my Learn to Knit playlist. But if you're leaving me right now, thank you for joining me. Whether you're knitting or crocheting, we're all meld together with fiber. I just wanted to show you some of the offerings I'm going to be having at my markets this year. And don't forget to enter the draw to win 1 free knitting pattern. It is also available on Ravelry. I will put the link below. Like, comment with the word piggy, public subscriber. And if you are not a knitter and you want to win this and give this to a knitting friend, I am more than happy that you do that. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye for now. Hi everyone, this is Diane from My Pink Bathtub Knits. Today we are going to learn how to knit a bacon bookmark. These are very cute and actually, honestly, very easy to knit. It is literally just a 4-row repeat, and I'm going to give you the pattern. We're not going to knit the entire thing up together, but I will talk about some key things you need to know in case you don't know certain knitting skills. And let's get started. This is great to use. It has a bookmark. It's a great little fun thing. You can actually make it in different sizes. You could make it as big as a scarf if you use really thick needles and really thick yarn. But for this example, it is a bookmark, and this is what it looks like. What I use in it is a 3.25 millimeter needle, and the yarn I am using for this example is a 3-weight yarn. This is Red Heart Fashion Soft. The color is wine, and for the white, the same brand of yarn. The color is cream, but you can use whatever you have on hand, a creamy color and a winey reddy color, to make it look like a bookmark. These are the skills you need to know in order to be successful in this pattern. You need to know how to cast on. You need to know how to knit. You need to know how to purl. You need to know how to knit 2 together and how to do a yarn over, and then how to bind off. That is it. There is, as I mentioned, a 4-row repeat in this pattern. And because of the amount of stitches, we're not going to do the entire rows together, but I am going to clearly tell you what the pattern is. So the first thing you're going to need to do is to cast on 56 stitches, which is what I've done onto my 3.25 millimeter needle. 56 stitches. And because it's a 4-row repeat, the first row is going to be literally just knitting. You're going to knit the entire first row, which is the 56 stitches. So we'll do some of this, but not all of it. Grab yourself a pen and a piece of paper so that you can write this down for future reference. And I have this little camera on my chest, so if it is a little bumpy, I apologize. So you're going to knit to the end of the row, and then we will do row number 2. We have now knit our first row, which is row 1 of our 4-row repeat, and our next row, row number 2, is going to be knit 1, and then we are going to purl to the last stitch. The entire row we're going to purl, and then we are going to knit the last stitch. So knit 1, purl to the last stitch, and then knit the last stitch all the way along the 56 stitches. Still purling. And we're going to purl the second last stitch and then knit the very last stitch and turn our work. So those are the first 2 rows. The third row is the trickiest of this entire pattern because it involves knit 2 together and yarn overs. Now, if you've ever done any lace work and you've ever used yarn overs, and I will show this in detail, you will need to decrease a stitch to add a stitch because a yarn over adds a stitch. To end up having the same stitches as you began with, you're always going to be decreasing one and then adding one. So here is the row 3 formula. We're going to knit the first stitch. And I always have to push this off the needle. Then we're going to knit 2 together 3 times in a row. So 1, 2, and 3. So basically we've just decreased 3 stitches. But now we are going to yarn over 6 times. So to yarn over, essentially you take your yarn, you put your yarn in the front of your work, and then you're going to knit like you normally would. The only difference is the yarn is at the front here. So and it's going to create an intentional hole. That's what you want it to do. So then you're just going to knit like you normally would. See how the yarn is right here at the front? You're going to have to wrap it around the back to knit it. You're going to put your yarn in the front of your needle, and you're going to knit your needle like you normally would. So this is 2. Then you're going to put your yarn in the front and knit. That's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we are going to knit 2 together 6 times. This makes the ripply part of the strip of bacon. It will start transforming before your eyes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, we are going to do our yarn over 6 times. So we're going to bring our yarn to the front and basically just knit the stitch. To consider that 1 yarn over. Bring the yarn to the front, knit the stitch. That's 2. 3. 4, 5, and 6. This is essentially how you're going to continue on this row until you have 7 stitches left. And at that time, you are going to do 3 knit 2 togethers and 1 knit stitch to get to the end of your row. Now we are at the end of our row where we have 7 stitches left after doing that knit 2 together yarn over repeat of 6 each. And we're going to knit 2 together the last 3 times. And then we are going to knit the last stitch. So you should, and it's a good idea if you're not used to doing yarn overs, to count the amount of stitches on your needle again, because you should still have 56. Because every time you did a yarn over, it increased 1 stitch to your work, but then you also decreased with the knit 2 togethers. And the final step of this four repeat pattern is just simply to knit all of the stitches. So you're going to be knitting all of your yarn overs, and as you do it, if you pull this down, you can kind of see you've got some holes here. And don't freak out if you're not used to yarn overs. This is a completely normal thing. So you're just going to literally knit this last row 4 all the way. And then when you start on your next row, you're going back to row number 1. And I'm going to type out everything in the middle of this video, and I suggest you pause it. You could write it down. You could do a print screen of it, whatever works for you. And then I'm going to let you know what the amount of rows you need to do in the 2 colors to make your bacon bookmark. And that is essentially it, my friends. It's just a 4-row repeat to make them. So you see how we're knitting here, we're starting to get holes. Now this is a stitch here, and this is just the yarn over that was placed in front of the needle that creates this. So you're still just going to knit it like a normal stitch, even though it's kind of loosey-goosey. Sorry if I've got my thumb kind of in the row. I guess that's my bad knitting habit. I'll try to put it farther down so you can see better. See how it's just sticking over like that? You're just going to go in and knit it like the same way you would a normal stitch. And that is what makes the hole. Just do a couple more and then I'll show you. And if you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we've got 6 holes there. That's exactly what you want. So my suggestion to you is not to cut the red colored yarn when you add your cream colored yarn. Just keep it attached to your work, because you are going to go back to the red color and you're just going to start knitting with that at the end. It's less weaving in, and then you can just cut it only when you know you're not going to be using the color anymore. So that's how it's looking. Let's get to the end of this row. Okay, now we've done our first 4 rows. So you're casting on. Row number 1, you knit all the stitches. Row number 2, you knit the first stitch, then you purl all the stitches until the last stitch, and then you knit. Row number 3, and I'll type this out in a little more detail, you are going to knit the first stitch, then the next 3 are going to be knit 2 together. Then you're going to repeat yarn over 6 times and knit 2 together 6 times until the end of your row, where you will have 7 stitches, and then you will have 3 knit 2 togethers and then 1 knit stitch. And then your final row 4, you are going to knit all of your stitches. So here is your formula in the colors to make this. And see, look at how wide it is, and then how it shortens up because of the waves in it. So this is where you would start. So you're going to repeat this first 4 rows a second time using your wine colored yarn. Then you are going to add your cream colored yarn and do 4 rows. Now do not cut the wine color, just keep it on the end, because after you do your 4 rows in cream, you're going to go back and do 4 rows in the wine color again. And then you're going to, again, you're not going to cut this part, the cream, and you're going to add your cream after your 4 wine rows. And then you are going to finish with 4 rows of cream, and then you're going to cast off. And this is what it's going to look like once you do that. That's the back of it. It's super cute. So I hope you've enjoyed this 4-row repeat. I'm going to put the formula again at the end so you can do a screenshot, or I would appreciate it if you watch this video all the way through at least once and share it, like it, comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I am doing some mitten tutorials. I've done a fox one already. Give me some feedback what you think of this. These are great little fun bookmarks that you can use. So until next time, my friends, stay well and bye for now.